Porque, porque because
Se le salió el Spanglish.
¿Qué tal, gente? ¿Cómo están? Les saluda Henry Trujillo de nuevo de Dar Creativo Podcast. Muy bienvenidos. Hoy les traemos un viajero del mundo, así es que y estamos aquí en compañía de Nikki. ¿Cómo estás, Nikki?
Bien, Henry. Muy súper emocionada de la plática que vamos a tener hoy.
Ajá.
Con un personaje que anda viajando por todo el mundo.
Sí, es una plática un poco diferente a lo que hemos acostumbrado a hacer.
Bastante, sí. Va a ser bastante diferente. Bueno, primero lo vamos a introducir a él.
Ajá, claro.
Su nombre es Alfie Wardle.
Hola.
¿Cierto?
Sí.
Ok, él es de Inglaterra y habla poquito español, entonces vamos poquito, ajá.
Muy
poquito.
Entonces,
y yo hablo poquito inglés, así es que también estamos como...
Lo siento.
Bienvenido, Alfie. How are you?
Muy bien, gracias.
Welcome.
Sí. Sí, me gustaría hablar español, pero no puedo. Lo siento.
Entonces, vamos a hacerle algunas preguntas en inglés y él va a contestar. Entonces vamos, bueno, como lo podrán ver, a subtitular el video para que más gente lo pueda ver.
Así es, para que todos podamos disfrutar de esta charla que tenemos.
Va a estar buena. Ok, Alfie, you are a world traveler.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose, yeah.
Tell us about yourself, about you, your family, how old are you?
Okay.
Where are you from?
Yeah, okay. So, todo en inglés.
Sí. It's okay.
So yeah, my name is Alfie. I'm from a little town called Clitheroe, which is about 1 hour away from Manchester in the north of England.
Okay.
I have two parents. I have a mum and a dad, a brother and a sister, and a dog called Daphne.
Daphne. Okay.
And back home, I'm a martial arts instructor.
Okay.
I worked with my uncle before I came traveling for 2 years, where I taught martial arts to kids and adults. For all ages, and but I've always liked
to travel.
Okay. I've always liked the idea of traveling and seeing different places. So that's always been not always, but for a long time, it's always been my goal to see different parts of the world.
Okay.
Bueno, vamos con la ronda de preguntas. Yo, pues, ayer celebramos el Día del Indio Lempira, así es que vamos a lo indio.
Okay.
Yo voy a hacer mis preguntas en español y él, pues, las va a responder en inglés. Como buen entendedor que soy del inglés, pues voy a entender qué es lo que dice, pero todo va a ir ahí subtitulado. Así es que la pregunta número 1 que te voy a hacer es: ¿qué te llevó a tomar la decisión de viajar por el mundo?
So I think you heard me say that I haven't always.
Yeah.
I haven't always wanted to travel.
Yes.
So I used to really love football. So I wasn't very good.
Okay.
But you know, every kid has a dream of being a footballer one day.
Yeah.
And I was okay, but I was never close to being professional.
Okay.
And when I was about 13 years old, I think I started to realize that I wasn't going to become a footballer.
So you practiced for a long time? That was your dream?
It was.
Okay.
But once I realised, because to become a footballer is very, very difficult,
Hard.
and there's a lot of competition.
Yes.
So I think once I realised I wasn't going to make it, and I wasn't even close to making it. So
you have to make that clear.
yeah. I'm not as good as it might sound like I was. So once I realised I wasn't going to make it, that's where my interests started to kind of change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started watching documentaries about specifically Africa, and Africa was the place where that really kind of
you want to go.
Really sparked my interest in traveling.
Okay.
So Africa was my first dream to travel.
Did you went there?
I have been there. Yeah.
Great.
A few years ago.
How long?
A few years ago.
A few years ago. Where do you go in there?
I visited 13 countries in Africa.
Okay.
Starting in the east with Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda, and then I made my way south through Tanzania, Malawi.
Wow.
And all the ones, the southern African countries.
Okay, and how long did you take that trip?
That was 3 months.
3 months.
3 months, yeah. So when I was 13, I decided I wanted to travel, and I started saving up money from a paper round that I had. A job that I had.
You had a job.
Yes.
When you were 13.
13, yeah.
Okay. What was your work?
I used to deliver papers.
Okay.
Around my town.
In bike.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also had a job cleaning dishes for a restaurant. And I just saved money.
Wow.
For as long as I could, up until.
How long?
Until I was 21.
Wow.
Until I was 21.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, not just from the papers.
Yeah.
But from different jobs. But yeah, it from 13. I was 21 when I first traveled.
Where did you go?
I went to Asia.
Asia,
yeah.
In what country?
Vietnam.
Okay. Wow.
Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore.
Alone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one question. How do you feel, or why you travel alone?
I like to travel alone because for me, you have all the control.
Okay.
You can do what you want.
Yes.
When you want to.
Mm-hmm.
If you travel with someone, which has its benefits.
Yes.
For example, when I went to Africa, I went with my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
Which was good.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I like to travel alone because, I can do what I want when I want. It's a lot more flexible.
Okay.
For example, like yesterday, I decided I could stay one more day in order to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Which if I was with someone, traveling with someone, that might not have been possible.
Oh, sí, es cierto. Él lo conocimos ayer y platicando de esto, le dijimos que si quería estar aquí, pero él se iba hoy. Entonces decidió pues quedarse aquí un día más para poder hacerlo, así que lo agradecemos mucho. We are really grateful for that.
But also it forces you out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
If you like I said, if you travel with someone, especially me, because it's kind of my personality, I tend to just sit back and let the other person do the talking, or and stuff like that. Or you just tend to stick with your friend or your girlfriend or whoever you're with. But if you're alone, you're forced to sort things out yourself. You're forced to push yourself out your comfort zone and talk to people. Try and learn the language and
okay.
Yeah, so that's why I like traveling alone.
Okay.
Also.
Better alone.
¿Qué tiempo dedicas a cada país en tu visita?
Okay, so it depends. It depends. A lot of it depends on money. Money.
Yeah.
For example, I spent 1 month and a half in Mexico. And then after Mexico, I went to Belize. But Belize is very, very expensive for a traveler. A traveler.
Okay.
And previous to Belize, I had been in Cancun,
That is also
which
expensive.
is very, very expensive. Yeah. So I ended up staying in Belize for only five days.
Oh, okay. But that was your plan?
A little bit, but I would. Sorry. I would like to have stayed there for longer.
Okay.
But for my plans and what I want to do in my trip, and how much money I have, it just didn't work out like that.
Pero ¿tiene un presupuesto económico para gastar en cada país?
Do you have a budget for
each country?
For each country?
Not really for each country. For me, I have a budget for the month.
Okay.
So I try and stay below a certain amount of money that I spend per month. Because I personally want to travel for 1 year.
Yes.
So I have a set amount of money for that. So yeah, I limit myself. I try and limit myself to a certain amount per month.
Okay.
Per month.
How do you calculate the travel budget? That month that you said, the budget for 1 month.
Yeah.
How do you calculate? Do you see the cost to stay in a hotel or in a room or the food?
Yeah. Well, I try because when you're traveling, a lot of the money goes on activities.
Okay.
That's usually the big spend, the what you spend the most on. Because for me, just living normally, I can live very cheaply. Because food, you can always find cheap food. Accommodation, so hostels, you can always find a cheap hostel.
Yeah.
So my the amount I spend day to day isn't actually a lot of money. But when I want to do an activity, for example, scuba diving, that's where the money goes. That costs a lot of money. So I just try and live as cheaply as possible.
Okay.
So I have enough money to do
What you want to do.
the activities I want to do. Yeah.
A la hora de movilizarte entre países, ¿alguna vez has tenido problemas de visa para entrar a un país o te han dicho algo?
So I personally, I always like to travel by bus.
The travel?
Yeah, by bus.
By bus, okay.
By bus.
Uh-huh.
Porque because
Se le salió el Spanglish.
yeah, because I feel like if you fly,
Uh-huh.
you miss a lot of the country.
Ah, okay.
So, but if you get the bus, then you still see. You can look out the window and,
Yes.
and see a lot of the country,
Uh-huh.
and so personally, I like to get the bus.
And it's cheaper.
Also,
right?
yeah, it's cheaper. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah. You don't have any trouble with the visa.
Well, I'm very lucky
Yes.
because I'm
You are.
I'm from England, so our passport is very good, and we can get to. I'm not sure how many it is, but I think it's over 150 maybe.
Wow.
I can go to over 150 countries without a visa, and that includes all of the Central American countries. So it's for me personally, and probably everyone from England or a lot of European countries. It's pretty easy for us to travel between countries.
Do you work in the places you go?
No. No. Me. A lot of people do. So a lot of travelers do like to work.
Yes.
But I personally like. I don't like to work. So if I
You
can
just want to have fun.
yeah, if I can avoid working, then
Yeah.
I will. So I like to separate travel and normal and work if I can help it. Yeah, because other thing as well. I like to go back home as well, and if I'm working in another country, then that's usually for an extended period of time.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like to just travel, have fun, and then go back
Go
home,
back and work.
work for a bit, and then come out again and have more fun.
¿Has pensado en tu regreso?
Yes. Sí.
Sí, nos contaste que tu plan es llegar hasta Cabo no sé qué, ¿verdad?
Hasta la punta del
primera punta,
del
¿verdad? Del
continente.
continente.
Your plan is go to the bottom of the continent.
Yes.
Ajá.
Yeah.
Sí, o sea, ¿cuál es tu plan de regreso?
Right now, I have no plan to go home. So, I have no set date to return home.
Okay.
It all depends on the money, whether I'm enjoying myself or if my parents want me back. But no, I just want to enjoy myself as much as I can, and I don't want to put any pressure on myself to go back or to stay traveling for as long. I'm just gonna completely go off how I feel. Like if I want to go home, then I will. If I don't, then I'll keep on going.
Okay.
If I have money.
But you have 1 year limit, or you can spend.
I
extend it
I could spend more if I want to.
if you want to. téngannos un poquito de paciencia ahí, ¿verdad? Con el English. What places do you want to visit? What other places you want to visit?
On this trip? On this trip? Well, I actually want to visit every country I can. And that's another reason why I like to travel by bus. Is because you can't miss out countries. Or it's harder to miss out countries like that. So I'd like to try and see every country in Central America, and I want to make my way down the west coast of South America, all the way down to the bottom of Argentina, and then back up towards Brazil and again other countries as well. So I don't like missing countries out. I like to experience all the countries if I can. Also, for me, every country has something different as well. So if you miss countries out, then you're potentially missing out on a completely new experience that you might not have expected. Like for example, Honduras in England and Europe has a very bad reputation. Yeah. I think statistically, it's one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Yes. And if I looked at that and decided, you know what, I'm gonna miss out Honduras because I think it's dangerous and I'm not gonna like it, then I wouldn't have experienced everything that I've experienced in Honduras and all the beautiful people I've met, all the how welcoming they are, and all the different activities, the beautiful landscapes. I think if I've forgotten what the question is.
No, it wasn't a question. You just were telling us about the beauty of traveling.
Oh yes, yeah. Oh yeah. I know. Okay, no. So I would have missed out on so much had I missed Honduras. And because of, for example, the perception from the media. So that's why I don't like missing countries. Okay. It's you learn something from every country, I think.
Yeah. What are you traveling with? What's in your backpack?
So for me, it's my bags have got smaller for each travel.
Really?
Each travel I've done, yeah. So the first time I traveled, I had about 20 kilograms of luggage, of bags. The next time I had about 15, and this time I only have 10.
Wow.
I only have clothes in one bag, and then cameras or important stuff in another bag. So I'll have a GoPro, obviously my phone, and quite a good camera that I don't really use. But yeah, I like to keep it small if I can, because it makes it a lot easier to get about and travel, and that it makes you realize that you don't need much. You don't actually need much. Okay. Like I just got a week's worth of clothes. Again, my cameras, and that's
it.
about it. Yeah, that's about it.
¿Qué es lo más triste o emocionante que has vivido en este viaje por América?
Mm-hmm. In America.
América, sí.
Okay. I think the saddest things that I see in America, in the Americas, is definitely the poverty.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I look back at my life in England,
Mm-hmm.
you think things might be bad, but then you see how some people live here or in the Americas or anywhere, and you realize what real poverty is, and I think that's sad. For example, like you, especially as a tourist, you get a lot of people coming to you asking for money, and it's a kind of you don't really know what to do sometimes. Part of you wants to give them money and to help them out, but I mean, I've only got a limited budget myself,
Yes.
and if I gave everybody some money, I would have no money myself. So it's a difficult one. But yeah, I'd say the poverty is the hardest thing to see while traveling in the Americas. The most exciting thing, I'd say is for me the most exciting thing is disproving the perception of these countries.
Okay.
Like how we said, statistically Honduras is a very dangerous country, but all I have experienced in Honduras is just people being so welcoming and happy and nice to me, and I really enjoy going to a place that maybe doesn't have the best reputation, and then experiencing something completely the opposite. I really enjoy it. That's one of my favorite parts of traveling.
Okay.
Also, I would like to say, because I think it should probably be mentioned. Seeing the poverty here, and in other places, it does make you realize how lucky
You are.
I am to be born in a country where I can do this. I have the opportunity to do this. Like simply just from my passport, I can go to so many more countries than somebody from Honduras. But even it's not very. If I put my mind to it, it's not hard for me to get the money together to go on a travel like this.
Yeah.
Whereas I think for somebody in the Americas, it's even if you have a good job, it's still a lot more difficult than it is for me.
Sí.
Yeah, so I don't want to. I want people to know that I do at least.
You realize.
I realize that I am very
lucky.
privileged. I am very privileged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Es muy buena oportunidad.
Yeah, sí.
Is it dangerous to travel as a backpacker?
Mostly, no.
No.
I think, like, for me, I've never experienced anything bad, really. In my experience, obviously, things can happen and stuff can go wrong. It doesn't mean that it can't go wrong. But I think the overwhelming majority of people who travel have very good experiences, and then you have the very small minority who will have a bad experience, which is either caused by just pure bad luck or stupidity, and they're looking for it. I think, like I say, I think it doesn't matter where you go, what countries you go to. Most people are nice. I think most people are friendly and want to help you if they can. It's only this a very small minority of people in every country. It doesn't matter whether it's Honduras or England or Sweden. There's always going to be people who have bad intentions. So yeah, I think traveling in general, as long as you use your common sense, is very safe, and people shouldn't be scared to do it.
Okay.
Wow, qué cool. ¿Qué lección de vida llevas hasta el momento? En todos los viajes que has hecho, ¿qué has aprendido en esencia?
Well, I'm repeating myself a bit, but one of them is that people are friendly in general. That's one of the, for me, that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, that most people aren't out to get you. Like I said, most people want to help you. Most people are just interested in what you're doing and want to help you out if they can, and that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned, and it's made me a lot less nervous to go to other countries in the world. It's I think I'm pretty confident I can go to any place in the world and people will look after me. And
is it necessary to carry travel insurance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Not that you're gonna need it, but if something does happen,
it's better have it and not need it than not need it and not have it.
Because I know people who have had issues going to places, and if they hadn't had insurance at the time, they would have been in a lot of trouble. There's one story. I mean, it's my friend. If he's listening, if he's watching this, then he'll know who he is. But he was going to Las Vegas, and he didn't have insurance. Until the day before, his parents found out that he didn't have insurance, and they forced him. It was like, you need to get insurance, and just in case. And he went to Vegas and ended up getting robbed. And he was, I think he was drugged, and he was in hospital. He woke up in hospital with a tube in his mouth, helping him to breathe. And
what did they do?
We don't know. We don't know. He doesn't know either. But if he hadn't had got travel insurance, that would have cost him, especially in America, that would have cost him thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, and it would have been a really bad situation. Really bad situation already.
He's
made
okay?
a lot worse. Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he's absolutely fine.
¿Cómo sobrevives el clima? No sé de qué forma
¿Qué
hacerle
dice?
la pregunta.
¿Pero qué dice él?
No, yo la pregunta es que cómo sobrevive al clima de cada país.
Mhm.
Ok. Pero de todo, de comida, de no intoxicarse con comida.
Ajá, sí, exacto. O sea,
Okay.
With
si,
food,
si alguna
intoxicate.
vez se ha enfermado con
Ajá.
alguna comida, por ejemplo.
Have you ever intoxicate with food? Or how do you do with weather?
Well, I think I'm typical English person, and I find it I struggle with the heat
Okay.
of these like tropical countries. I sweat a lot.
But you like the weather?
Oh yeah, I love the
Okay,
weather. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. When you come from England, you appreciate the nice
yeah.
weather, because we don't get a lot. We don't get a lot of good weather, especially in the north of England. But no, yeah, I really like the weather here.
Okay.
But it does get very hot, and
Sí.
I do sometimes I do struggle and struggle more. But
Okay.
with the food, I've been very lucky. I think I rarely had bad experiences
Okay.
with food. I've had only one, maybe in Mexico, where I got a bad stomach, which
Okay.
apparently happens to absolutely everybody.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not the best with spicy food as well.
Okay.
But in general, I'm pretty lucky. I've not experienced that much bad things with food. I think I've got quite a strong stomach.
Okay.
And yeah, and I always like to eat locally as well. Yeah,
And taste the food.
Yeah, taste the food,
Okay.
and it's always the cheapest as well. Actually,
Okay.
it's always the
Also-
cheapest.
What places did you visit here
In Honduras.
in Honduras? Yeah.
So I arrived here from El Salvador on the bus.
Okay.
So the first place I stayed, which I didn't intend to stay, was the border town, which was Oaxatepeque.
Ocotepeque.
See,
Ocotepeque, uh-huh.
yeah. That was I didn't plan on staying there, but I arrived
Late.
late,
Okay.
and there was no buses out, so I ended up having to sleep on
Where?
a bench. On a bench.
Really?
Yeah. I was lucky because this is where the people of Honduras helped me out here.
Okay.
I arrived late, and there was no buses. The plan was to go to Copan,
Copang, uh-huh.
and there was no buses at that time
Okay.
until midnight.
Next morning.
Until midnight.
Okay.
And they dropped me off at this place, and they said there's a bus at midnight, so that's okay.
Okay.
But about half an hour before I was supposed to leave, this really nice lady was talking to me, and she said, "You can't really. I don't want you to go at 12 because the bus doesn't take you to Copan. It takes you to La Entrada."
Okay.
And she didn't feel comfortable me being dropped off in La Entrada at 3 o'clock in the morning,
sí.
because she thought it might be dangerous.
Yes.
So they really helped me out,
Okay.
and they said there's another bus at 3 o'clock in the morning, but there's no. Do you have anywhere to sleep? I said no. And said, "Do you want to get a hotel?" And I was like, "No, no, I don't want to. I didn't want to spend any money for like 3 hours." So they said, "Oh, they put me into this little place that was safe."
Okay.
And they said you can relax
In
here.
their home? Or?
It was in a hotel. I think it was in a hotel.
Okay.
But it had its own
Yeah.
It had its own like
Like the jar of the
his own yard. Yeah, his own
Okay.
yard. But it was kind of inside the grounds.
Okay.
And they said you can stay there. So
Wow.
so I had a couple hours nap on the
Okay.
on the bench, and then
Wow.
then they woke me up and said, "Oh, your bus will be here soon." And so they really helped me out. They're really
Yeah.
nice, and that's when I went to Copan.
Okay.
Well, Lantrada first.
Uh-huh.
Got the bus to Copan. I stayed 3 nights in Copan.
Okay.
Then I went to San Pedro Sula.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed there for 4 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Then to Utila.
Okay.
I did scuba diving. Went scuba diving there, which is really
You did it.
beautiful. Yeah. Then I spent 1 night in La Ceiba.
Okay.
But then from La Ceiba, that's when I arrived in Tegucigalpa,
Okay.
where I really like it here. It's really again. This is why I don't like missing places out, because Tegucigalpa, everybody says skip Tegucigalpa
Uh-huh.
or only stay there for
For a few hours.
for a few hours.
Okay.
But I've come here and I've enjoyed it. I managed to meet you guys, and I'm doing this now. and yeah, so and then tomorrow I leave to Nicaragua. So
How long have you been in Tegucigalpa?
in Tegucigalpa, only this is my third day.
Third day. Okay. Do you like the food here?
Yeah, I love all food, to be honest.
Okay.
But no, the food here is very nice. I really like the baleadas.
The baleadas.
Baleadas, yeah. I really like them. The meal we went to yesterday, I've forgotten what that was called, but
Era comida típica. Lo llevamos ayer a comer al patio. Entonces comió carne asada, arroz, frijoles, plátano, mantequilla.
yeah.
Y
That was really nice. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really did. I really like food. So food is
you taste the horchata.
yes, horchata. I really like horchata, and I've had a lot of horchata on this trip actually, because
Okay.
they have horchata in Mexico and Guatemala, and
It's similar than the one we
it's
have here?
pretty similar.
Okay.
Similar. Yeah. So a little bit different, but
Mhm.
it's all nice. It's all nice for me. Yeah. So yeah, I really like the food, and I find food is a big part of
Your life.
my life. Yeah, my life, but also part of a country's culture.
Uh-huh.
So I always like to try the foods and experience what type of stuff you like. Different countries eat, you guys eat, and it rarely disappoints.
Okay. Would you back to Honduras?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I'll definitely come back one day. I don't know when, but it might be a long time. But
Yeah.
I'll definitely come back, and I would recommend people to come as well. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people, and thank you to everybody I've met who've made my time here very nice, including you guys.
Thank you.
Y bueno, la gente que me conoce sabe que soy seguidor del sufrido Manchester United.
Boo, boo.
Muy sufrido.
No me gusta.
Muy sufrido en los últimos años, ¿verdad? Así es que, y él es seguidor de
prefiero Manchester City. Y Manchester City son un equipo más mejor.
Eso sí pudo,
Eso sí
¿verdad?
pudo. Sí, muy buen equipo, ¿verdad? Sí, una liga muy competitiva, ¿verdad? Y aquí se disfruta bastante.
A very competitive league, and
Yes. Yeah.
we here enjoy it a lot.
Oh really? Oh nice. Yes.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Just thank you guys for inviting me on. I'm actually quite interested to ask Henry what, because Henry just stopped next to us. Like, what made him decide that I would at all be interesting for a podcast?
Sí, dijo, fue incómodo.
That's awkward.
Sorry.
No, pero más bien te pregunta qué fue lo que te motivó a hacerlo. ¿Por qué pensaste que ellos iban a estar interesados en hacer un podcast? ¿Verdad?
Sí, no. No sé.
Agarraste mucho valor.
Algo del instinto dijo que teníamos que hacer un podcast con vos.
The instant tell him that we have to make a podcast with you.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, when you stopped and talked to us, and we were trying to converse in Spanish, and I didn't understand much, but I got a good vibe, and I felt like you were a nice person, so I jumped in the car.
Dice que trataban de platicar en español, que él no entendía mucho, pero que sintió una buena vibra, y que entonces brincó al carro.
Which I won't recommend people to do all the time, but in this occasion it was good.
Okay, que no lo recomienda a la gente hacerlo,
Sí.
pero que en esta ocasión okay.
No, thank you.
No, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for staying one more day.
No, it's okay. No, it's worth it.
Okay. Hope you like it, and we are really appreciate.
Thank you.
Y bueno, este podcast ha sido algo diferente, súper entretenido. Esperamos que lo hayan disfrutado. Y suscríbanse, denle me gusta, coméntenos a quién más quisieran que tuviéramos aquí. Y bueno, ya conocieron a Alfie, y si lo ven por ahí caminando por las calles de Tegucigalpa o en algún lado, pues tiéndanle la mano también, ¿verdad? Y bueno, suscríbanse, denle like y síganos en nuestras redes sociales como Dart Estudio Creativo, y en YouTube también como Dart Estudio Creativo, y suscríbanse al canal.
Muchas gracias.
Eso.
Gracias por habernos acompañado. Esperamos sus comentarios. Ahí está la caja de comentarios para que comenten qué les pareció, qué les pareció la charla. Creo que estuvo muy interesante. Y bueno, no olviden suscribirse. Gracias, y recuerden que si necesitan un espacio para trabajar tranquilamente, con airecito acondicionado, con cómodas sillas, son cómodas, muy cómodas. Los invitamos a Workbox. Aquí tienen espacio disponible, tienen sala de conferencia y coworking para que puedan venir y trabajar tranquilamente. Así es que ahí están las redes sociales de ellos, y no se pierdan el podcast el próximo sábado. Gracias y saludos.
Y I almost forgot, we have a present for you.
Oh.
A little gift. A little present.
Thank you.
Sí.
Thank you.
Un presente para ti.
Like, follow. It's a best podcast in Honduras.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
No, de nada, you're welcome. And thank you, and gracias por vernos, y nos vemos el próximo sábado.
Gracias, thank you.
Thank you. How was that? Was that okay?
Sí,
Yeah.
súper bien.